Hi, welcome back to What the Flick. Christy and Alonso and Matt, we are all still here, and we now have some home video recommendations for you, streaming recommendations. Movies come to you. You can just sit there and wait for them to arrive. Matt will start us off with what is your pick for the week?
My pick, I will tell you in just a moment. After I remind you to get the TYT Network app, you can go to tytnetwork.com/app and download the app and get all of this show and many other things on the app, all of the network shows. And it's pretty cool and pretty fun. And so please do it, or Jank will get mad at me. All right, so my pick is Blockers. This stars Leslie Mann and Ike Barinholtz and John Cena. They are playing parents who all have daughters who have made a pact to get laid on their prom night. And Leslie Mann and John Cena at least have decided that they're gonna stop them. Ike Barinholtz is somewhat attempting to be the voice of reason with these kind of very scared, worried parents. There's a lot of fun stuff going on in this movie. John Cena continues to do comedy really, really well. Leslie Mann and Ike Barinholtz put in really reliably funny performances. It's relatively sex positive about what these girls are trying to go and do. And I was surprised by how much I like this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, we're fans. Go back and watch it. We concur. Go watch our review. It's still floating around.
There's a link to it somewhere.
Yeah,
somewhere here. Yeah, I liked also all three of the actresses are all really good. Who play the daughters are all really good in it, and I like that you don't necessarily know what path they're going to go down. There are surprises in store. As it were, there's surprises in store for all of us. So yes, Blockers just came out like a couple months ago, not too long ago, but it was fun. So Alonso, what's your pick?
So this is. The New Age is a film from Michael Tolkien. Tolkien is best known for writing Robert Altman's The Player, but as a director, he did some really interesting work in the 90s. His film The Rapture is a fascinating look about kind of revelation-minded spirituality and a woman who turns to that after leading a hedonistic lifestyle. And then his second film, The New Age, is also about people looking for answers, but this time it stars Peter Weller and Judy Davis. They are an affluent LA couple who lose their jobs and are kind of adrift. And they decide that since what they're best at is shopping and talking, they should open a store on Melrose. And in the meantime, they also dabble with sleeping with other people and various kind of spiritual movements and trying to sort of just figure out who they are and where they're going. It's a really sharp and funny film, and it's been hard to find. It came out on VHS and Laserdisc, but I don't think it had a DVD release until like last year. So you may well have never heard of or seen this film. It's got great performances across the board. Judy Davis, as always, is great. Peter Weller is dynamite here. Adam West as his dad is perfect casting, and probably the best Adam West dramatic performance you'll ever see. Also some early Sam Jackson. A lot of people don't know this movie exists, and it's on Netflix, so you can watch it at home. You should check it out.
I had never heard of it or seen it prior to seeing it at Ebert Fest 6 years ago, and Michael Tolkien was there. And one of the cool things about Ebert Fest is that when Roger was alive, he would handpick these movies that were forgotten or unloved and wanted to shine a light on them again. And they continue to do that, in his legacy. And so they had Michael Tolkien there talking about the New Age. And I recall thinking it so of its time in terms of the look of it.
Oh yeah.
In terms of the clothes, right? Because it is about fashion.
It is very
specific,
1994.
Totally. Yeah. And there's also like a continuation of 80s conspicuous consumption to these people and their vapidness and all that. But it also seems really timely. It seems kind of timeless in terms of people seeking something that's beyond their grasp that they'll probably never find because they're just empty.
Yeah, an attempt to fill the emptiness inside with stuff.
Yeah, so I remember really liking it a lot too when I saw it. So a good choice, it's sort of an obscure one. Mine is kind of obscure too and new-ish. It is Where is Kira? Just came out a few months ago. We reviewed it here. You can go check out our full review of that. But this might be Michelle Pfeiffer's greatest performance to date. And it is dark and quietly powerful. She and Kiefer Sutherland had this wonderful kind of sad, awkward chemistry with each other. Michelle Pfeiffer plays a woman who lives with her ailing mother in this sad, dark, cramped apartment in Brooklyn. And she is between jobs. She is in her 50s and she's struggling to find even menial work. And the film follows her as she tries to just survive. And then when her mother dies, this is not a spoiler, it happens pretty early, she's got to figure out a way to hold on to the apartment that they have been living in all this time. And it's about the tough decisions that people have to make just to survive on a daily basis. And there's no judgment here as far as the questionable schemes she puts together in order to just stay afloat, not even to thrive, just to like function on a daily basis. And Bradford Young shot this, and the use, I know you're not a fan, I know what you're gonna say, it's really dark, but a lot of the use of the darkness undercuts our expectations of what Michelle Pfeiffer can do with her presence on screen. It's that she almost disappears into this role, and the use of shadow really indicates the claustrophobia and the increasing panic in her life. You were not as much of a fan of it as I was, though.
There's a lot about this movie I liked. I remember when we talked about it in our review, the score of this movie really takes me out of it. It's so jangling and jarring in places that it's really, really frustrating, because I think it sets an entirely wrong tone going into some of the scenes. But that being said, there is a lot, and there's kind of a subversive quality to this movie that I think, or maybe not even that subversive. There's an interesting aspect to this movie that covers, I think, some of the same territory as American Honey and The Florida Project, in that it's people who are on the margins or about to be on the margins and that don't get a lot of coverage in film and are otherwise invisible to us. And as this movie goes on, there's an increasing sense of doom and panic and about what's gonna happen, not just with Michelle Pfeiffer's character, but also what's happening with Kiefer Sutherland's character. And I think, again, the darkness of the shooting, I'm a little bit more tolerant of. It's that music that really, really bothered me. But again, this is I think a really smart movie, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you on that's like the one thing that made me not love this. I reviewed it for RogerEbert.com, and I gave it 3.5 stars out of 4. But yeah, the score is such and it's intentional, clearly, an intentionally jarring contrast with like the darkness and the intimacy of this film, because it's like noise. It's like it's meant to shake you up. It's meant to like yank you out of the intimacy and the claustrophobia of this world. It's like rah, but it does like the opposite. It's alienating. It's off-putting.
So before you see Michelle Pfeiffer in Ant-Man and the Wasp, check her out in Who is Kara?
Yeah, no, it's really good. So go check that out. So once again, our suggestions are, Matt, yours is
Blockers.
And yours is
The New Age on Netflix.
And mine is Where's Kira?